So the least common, or the LCM, is the least common multiple. All right, so that's what we're looking for. Multiples are just when you're multiplying the numbers they give you by the counting number. So we always start with 1. 2 times 1, 2 times 3, 2 times 4, 2 times 5, 2 times 6. You just go down the line until you match 1. So there's a couple of different methods to doing this. Okay, the first method we're going to talk about is the number line method. Now, this one is best used when you're using small numbers. So the small numbers I'm talking about are like 2 and 3, like really small numbers. Because what you're going to do is you're going to mark the multiples on the number line for each number. And I'll explain that. So on the number line, you need to fill this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fill it out all the way. Oh, that's 9. So we're just filling that out. You mark these, you're just going to put an X above that number. So what we're doing is we're going through the multiples of 2 first. So we start with 2 times 1. Well, that's 2. Then we go to 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. And 2 times 7 is 14. So we're going to stop there because that's all we can do on the graph. Now we do the next number, 3. So we do 3 times 1. 3. 3 times 2. 3 times 3. 3 times 4. 3 times 5. Now, after you've found all the multiples, you're going to find the common multiples. And the least, the smallest one, equals the LCM. So if you look, they have 6 in common, they have 12 in common. So it's the least common multiple, so which one would be our LCM? So there's only 2. So which one is the least? So it's 6. LCM is 6. They share 6 and 12. We want the smallest one. So that's the number line method. That's perfectly fine to use for smaller numbers. Now, the second method here is the list method. This is the method I prefer. So when you do the listing method, all you're doing is listing the multiples of both numbers. So rather than putting them on a number line, you're putting them in a list. So we're going to do 4 and 5. So when you're doing this, you literally just start with the first counting number, 1. So I start with 4. 4 times 1, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times 3, 12. 4 times 4, 4 times 5, 4 times 6. I'm going to stop there. Because you can stop, you can do as many as you want and then stop, and if you need to do more, you can always do more. Okay, now 5. 5 times 1. 5 times 2. 5 times 3. 5 times 4. 5 times 5. Now you find the ones they have in common. So you basically stop when you find common multiple. So is there any ones they have in common? Just 20. So the LCM equals 20. Okay? So I prefer the list method because then you're just writing it out. And it's just going, and that's, you can use a multiplication chart because that's all you're basically doing is using the multiplication chart to match up which ones they have in common because you have 2 numbers. Sometimes you'll have more than 2. Now the last method on here is the prime factorization way. We're not even going to talk about it because in my opinion it's just going to confuse you and there's no point in doing it. These 2 methods will work perfectly fine. They will get you the answer every single time. Okay, but for the most part, you're going to have to write these out. It makes life a lot easier. So let's go on to the back, and let's do, how about you guys do 8 and 12? See if you can figure out the LCM for 8 and 12. So 8 and 12. So all you're doing is writing out the multiples. 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4. Okay, I'm going to stop there. 12 times 1, 12 times 2, 12 times 3. So you can stop as soon as you find it, because that's your LCM right there, 24. Because we don't need anything higher than that, we want the smallest one. So as soon as you find the smallest one, you're done. So that's the LCM. Any questions on LCM? Okay, now we're going to talk about the GCF. The GCF is the greatest common factor. So that's the GCF, greatest common factor. So factors are the opposite of multiples. They're kind of the same, but kind of the opposite. So factors are the numbers, two numbers that multiply together to reach, so 16. 2 times 8 are factors of 16 because 2 times 8 equals 16. That's a factor. So there's a couple of ways of doing this too. The first method is this T-chart method. So I honestly didn't start using this until I started teaching it because I didn't even know about it. This T-chart method, not bad. So if you want to use this, this is perfectly fine. So what you're going to do is you're going to list the factors in order. So numerical order, basically. So we're going to do the numbers 36 and 48. Okay, so factors are basically the numbers that multiply together to equal these numbers. So I always start with 1 and the number itself. 1 times 36 equals 36. So then you just go down the line. Does 2 go into 36? 2 times whatever equal 36? Yes. 2 times 18 equals 36. So those are factors. Okay, then I just keep going down. Does 3 go into 36? Yes. Times 12. Okay, 4. Yes. Times 9. Does 5 go into 36? No, so you skip it. Does 6? Yeah, 6 times 6. Now, usually when you double back to the same number, you're done. Because 7 doesn't go into it, 8 doesn't, and we're back at 9. And 9's already listed. So these are the factors right here. And then you're done for 36. Then we go over to 48. Do the same process. 1 and 48. Because I know 1 times 48 equals 48. Does 2 go into 48? Yes. 2 times 24. Does 3? Yeah, it does actually. 3 times 16. Does 4? 4 times 12. Does 5? No, 5 does not go into 48, so we skip that one. Does 6? Yeah, 6 times 8. So, does 7? No. So right now we're back to where we need to be, and we're good. So we're done. No more factors for 48. So all the factors are done. Now you're going to circle all of the common factors. So I know I have 1 in common, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now we're looking at the other side. Well, 12 and 12, but nothing else. So then after circling those, find the GCF, the greatest one. So which one's the greatest common factor? 12. So the GCF equals 12. For 36 and 48, the GCF is 12. So factors are the numbers that multiply together to reach this certain number. Multiples are where you just take the number and you multiply it by each number we have. So So times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, down the line. All right, let's go to the back, and we're going to do another. So the other method is just the listing method. So let's say I had, let's do 20 and 32. Yeah, those will work. All right, so what I like to do, what I've always done, is the listing method. So I treat this like, to start with the factors that I know, 1 and 20. Because I can't go below 1 and I can't go above 20 to multiply to two numbers to get to 20. So we can't go beyond this. But now we're working on the numbers in between these. Does 2 go into 20? Yeah, 2 times 10. So I just make a list basically in numerical order. Okay, does 3 go into 20? No, so we skip it. Does 4? Yeah, 4 times 5. Now, we're back up to this 5, so we're basically completed our list. Because 6 doesn't go into it, 7 doesn't go into it, 8 or 9, and we're back at 10. So you're done. 20's done. Now we do 32. So I always start with 1, 32. So we do, next one would be 2. Does 2 go into 32? Yeah, it's even, so 2 times 16. Does 3? No. No, 3 does not. 4. 4 times 8. Does 5? 6? Nope. 7? Nope. Back at 8, so we're done. So now we go through and circle all the ones they have in common. 1, 2, 4, and that's it. So the GCF would be what? 4. Yep, you guys probably started this last year. Now we're just building on it because we're going to get into fractions and all that with it too. All right, any questions on this so far? Yes.